just chat a little bit about Oakland?
Had a great trip except for the game. I thought we played good for the first 25 minutes. They their size, wore us down. In the second half, it was I think it was something like 50-41. We missed 4 straight foul shots, and then had what I would call 4-shot turnovers where we took some bad shots, and they went on a 16-0 run, and that was the end of it. So I thought we competed hard for, like I said, for a good portion of that game. It was kind of a special trip because of our community service. I don't know if you guys have seen, that at all, but I was really proud of our guys and how they responded, what they did. It's kind of that Detroit Children's Center is really an amazing organization, what they do for needy people. So that was really one of the special days we've had this year.
Jerry, to follow up on that, obviously Latin Davis did something that's probably
Yeah.
unprecedented. Can you just talk about what
Yeah, I mean that was, and I think the thing that makes that even more special is the fact, Dana, was that nobody knew he was doing it. You know what I mean? A needy family came in with mom and 2 kids, and the kid was, the young man was a little bit of an older, I think probably 17 or so ish. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a little guy, and he was just over there looking for shoes, and they have a section for shoes. And again, the place is really, their place is really, a neat place. And they have all kinds of clothes from infants sizes all the way to like large, extra larges, and for like adults, for kids. And the guy was over there looking for shoes, and the mother kind of said, "Is this all the shoes that you have?" And that young man was there looking, for a pair of shoes. And Lanton went up and said to him, "What size shoes do you wear?" The kid says, "I take 12s." And Lanton said, "Well, I have 12, sure, you can have mine." So if you don't think that puts a tear in your eye to see a kid like that, I mean, and how I found out was that I noticed that he was walking around with in stocking feet. So it wasn't like he was, it's not like, it was out there. It's not like he wanted anybody really to know. He just did it on his own. So it was a pretty special deal.
Beyond that, you mentioned it was just a special experience being there as part of you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Can you describe that?
yeah, all of our guys our guys were just awesome. Our task was to hang up clothes, and what they had was just boxes and boxes and boxes of, clothes that people had given to them. Some of them had the tag still on them, and we just put them on hangers, and before you knew it, they kind of organized themselves. The 3 guys were putting them on hangers, and 3 other guys were hanging them, and then this group over there was, same, it was kind of like the same deal, and all the coaches were, involved, and Rob was the hanger organizer, which was, perfect for his expertise, if you will. So it was again, it was really kind of a neat deal. So.
when you see something like what Latin does, I mean, it kind of puts basketball in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I got on the bus and I said to the whole group, I said, at no point in this year, and I told them, and that included, any win that we've had this year, have I been more proud of them and proud of how they conducted themselves, how hard they worked. I thought it was kind of a really neat deal at the end of the time. They asked for a group picture, and so we all got a group picture, and then we were all filing out. And I was like one of the last 3 or 4 people like out the door. Then one of the ladies said, "Thank you for coming," and then she kind of looked at her cohorts and said, "And please come back again." Which I don't know if there was 4 or 5 people that heard that, and then they walked back into the area. I thought that was kind of a neat deal.
Coach, I know it's one of the demeanor, but you see a player without shoes on, and you don't know what happens, and you got to kind of.
Well, I mean, I said to him, I said, "Where's the last shoes?" And then somebody, right away that was kind of in earshots of me said, "He just gave those shoes to that guy." And I said, "What?" And it wasn't really until after practice that day, which we practiced from 3 to 5, and this was in the morning, that I kind of got, him in the corner and said, "So, give me the play-by-play. Tell me what happened." And as I told you now, that's what he had told me. So I got Jamie to get a picture, before the young guy left. I thought that was kind of, neat to, have a memory or a keepsake, for that, just not the thought of it, but then we have a picture to be able to, for him to be able to have, because I think that says a lot.
Basketball prospects for wrapping up on a positive side.
Yeah, Cleveland State's played everybody really tough. They've, what they are. They're an incredibly good defensive basketball team. They want the games in the 60s and the 50s. They've had, I believe, their last 4 home games, like 51 was 53-51 they lost. One was in overtime. Another one was 63-61. So, in their building, they want to hold you into the 60s. And if you can get, 68-70, you have a pretty good chance of winning. We did a really good job here defensively. I'm sure they're going to be, I think both teams are obviously, I think, disappointed with, maybe where their year has been. And I think it's going to come down to what team really wants to put that frustration behind them and play the hardest.
What are the most important things for you to get to that?
We got,
68 level or so?
we have to take care of the basketball. That's one of the disappointing things for us in the Oakland game. With 2:05, I believe, left in the first half, we were up by a point. When we went in at the half down 11. We got outscored 12-0 in the last 2 minutes, and 5 of them were on turnovers. And then we came out in the second half and cut it. And like I said, it was like, a 9-point ball game, and we missed, 4. Actually, we missed 6 possibility of 6 foul shots. 2 of them were front end and 1-on-1. So those are the kind of things that you can't, you have to, if you're going to go into somebody's building, you got to take care of the basketball. You got to make your free throws. You got to, it's not rocket science. You got to, you have to do the little things.
But you guys have proven that you can play with the upper echelon teams with all due respect. Is this tournament, I know you still
Yeah.
from the regular season. Is it right on?
Yeah, I think it, Dane, I really think that it is. I think that, I think there are 2 teams that are unique. And I think that's, Valpo and Oakland, because they've got something that nobody else in the league has, and that's 2 bigs. Everybody kind of plays with that hybrid 4, that kind of stretch 4, that kind of, plays on the perimeter. And both of those teams make you go play on the block against big on big. That's where, Oakland got us. But we had so many good looks against Oakland early in that basketball game. And unfortunately, they didn't make any either. But, at the second media timeout, not the first media timeout, I believe it was like 8-6. And, I said to our guys, we've had so many good looks here. If we can just get past knocking some of those shots down. So I do. I think it's as open. We beat Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky beats, Wright State by like 10 or 12. Last night. So I think it's as open. Dana, it's what I've always kind of hoped for this league, in the terms that we're going to a neutral site. It takes away that, what do they say, that 8-point advantage that you have at home, and you take away 8 points from any team in that tournament in terms of that being a home court advantage. It's a toss-up. So I think it's I think it's going to be exciting.
I just want to go back to, I know the Latin Davis story is just a great story. Francisco, Latin started last year.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's Francisco came. Francisco came to me at shoot-around, before shoot-around, and said, "Listen, Coach, I thought that was tremendous what Latin did, and I'd like to give up my starting position tonight for him." So, I think you're seeing the quality of the kids. The heart of the real heart of that group, and I addressed the whole group and said, Cisco came to me and wanted to do something special for Lat, and again, now this wasn't like this isn't like the shoes Jamie's got on or I got on, You know what I'm saying? This was these were Air Jordans, Yeah, those were $100+ sneakers. So it's not like like these kicks I got on that, what I mean, that got stains on them, and they're like the ones you have at home. Yeah.
With one game left in the regular season, you talked about the tournament. I know coaches, I'm assuming, break down the season into 3 different non-conference, conference, and postseason. How do you assess the regular season? I know it's disappointing.
Inconsistent, if I had to use one word. I think we've played as good a basketball as any team that I've coached here at times. And I think that started on opening day with Akron and at Green Bay, at Wright State. I thought our win against Northern Kentucky was hard fought, well played. And then we've had that, our margin for error is just not very big. And, we've had some inconsistent play from, over the course of the year. So if I had to put it in one term, it would be, we've been inconsistent.